But yeah, just let me know when you want to.
I'm gonna get this all fixed up. All right, let me go live. Title: Apartment. Oh wait, hold on. Title: Minute.
Stroke.
Apartment Theater episode
Modders.
25.
Yes.
Hey, we hit a milestone.
Hey, 25 episode. Let's get it.
Here's to 25 more.
Yep.
That'll feel really weird. I'll be
To
like,
get 50.
yeah, just to be like, holy shit, we're actually like
doing things.
Yeah.
We're doing it. It's it's going.
Cass, can you hear it?
I can hear you.
I haven't said anything.
Can you hear you?
Yeah.
Okay. As long as everybody can be heard, that's all that is matter to me. Man, I look like a mess today. At least more than usual.
I'm about to say, none of your guys' levels are peaking in the video, so.
All right. It seems like I can hear everybody.
Well, that's all that matters. If not, well, shit. Eventually I'm gonna have...
You are a lot louder than me and Justin, though.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. How about
just in general? No, don't adjust.
Well, I just did it anyways.
Okay, that's fine.
Is that better, Cass? Cass, you're the one listening here.
Well, there's a 20-second delay, Dani. I have to wait for you to actually say things on the stream.
I forgot I set up the delay. Don't mind me. I'm a little poop after
I think
that.
Justin's the quietest now, though.
I haven't said anything.
I know, but yeah, you're the quietest, Justin.
I could turn him up.
Just turn me up.
All right. Okay.
Cass, is it hot over there?
No.
Oh. I mean, it looks hot over there.
It is hot, actually. I'm here.
Nice.
All right.
Okay.
We're ready to get this shindig.
So this is 25, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Dani will be explaining the movie since
I got
her pick.
Welcome to Apartment Theater, guys. We have our own fucking Twitch channel.
Finally, unless you're listening to this on Spotify, then it's like, oh, you've been doing this here.
You've heard it.
Then, you know.
Eventually we'll have the YouTube set up, but you know, after 25 episodes, I at least got this set up, but you know.
Hey,
so at 50 episodes, we'll have the YouTube channel up.
Something like that. Bienvenue! Apartment Theater Utres, Idiots Palent, des films et au connaît, aujourd'hui nous avant de regarder le film français Mortels.
Omelette du fromage.
Me like, oh, we're doing the introduction in French. Cool.
Because it's a French movie. I think this is
I
think I said crap wrong, but whatever. It's not my first language. Don't.
I mean, you
That's
could have
better than
fooled
what
me.
I got,
yeah.
So.
All right. So this week, I decided to traumatize us. And
Yeah.
It's partially my fault too. I was definitely like, you had one movie in mind, and I'm like, actually, let's pick this one instead. Just kind of creeping my hand in there, like pulling it out from the files of the disgusting fucking horror movies we could watch, and plopped it down.
I did pick this film. So the film, if you Google it, says two young women who were both victims of abuse as children embark on a bloody quest for revenge, only to find themselves plunged into a living hell of depravity. Okay, so that doesn't sound bad. That does not, what we saw, that does not make me think that.
Dramatic.
Now, Dani, how would you sum up the plot?
I would sum up this plot, a toned down Serbian film.
I wouldn't say it's a Serbian film level. That movie is just filth. Like, and it has no artistic merit whatsoever. It is just a filth movie.
So this movie, at parts, I did have to speed up by like 30 seconds because the scenes were just dragging on a little too long for me. But pretty much the main character, Lucy and Anna, Lucy's something. Lucy
is traumatized.
Lucy is very traumatized. My camera also doesn't want to zoom in. There we go.
Yeah.
So Lucy was a part of experiments of this, I guess, company. I don't know. They never give us an explanation on exactly who these people are. But they are doing studies on martyrs. Martyrs are pretty much people that are on near death. What's
near death? They see the
afterlife.
The afterlife, yeah, and they can describe the afterlife to you.
Yeah, they made a lot of people that seem to be atheists and like try to throw religions in there. I actually had to Google that because I didn't know what that word was. But anyways, so our one very traumatized main character, Lucy, gets away from them when she's like 10 or 11 or something like that.
Small child, yeah.
Yeah, small child. And she comes back with a shotgun, finds the family, and shoots the people that tortured and harbored her, and then also just killed the children, which the children didn't know the parents were doing that, but, fuck the children, I guess. Yeah. But, so Lucy had a lot of trauma and psychotic episodes going on. They played it off like she's being haunted by a spirit. In reality, it was just her own trauma.
Yeah.
So when she left the facility, she ran into another room and found another lady. She didn't save her, and she just ran out and was pretty much just like, please forgive me about this. By assumption, that lady died. And now in her brain, it like haunts her. So there are scenes where she'll be getting like quote unquote attacked by this almost like an angry spirit, and really it's just her hurting herself. I do say, like, if you go and watch this movie, it is a massive trigger warning, like massive.
Yeah.
It's more like a trigger, like hazard. Like, if you have had any trauma of like abuse or anything, like maybe just
sit this one out.
This one out. Have a friend watch it. Maybe they can guide you and be like, hey, or cover your eyes the whole time.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of like speaking. I mean, unless you speak French, you're not gonna understand any of it. So.
I mean,
that's why subtitles
exist. You don't really
exist.
need to speak French to understand what's happening in this.
It's because I don't know French. I really don't know if they're in pain or not.
The screaming really confuses me.
Yeah.
So Lucy finds the family that tortured, or the parents that tortured her, kills them, and also I kind of have an issue with them staying in the house. Like, I don't know why they didn't just leave. Like,
that was my issue too.
Like, you killed them.
Like,
good
why
job.
are you here?
Leave they
the
stayed
house.
Almost 2 days. I think it was 2 days they stayed in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, clearly they're
weird.
Well, I think part of it was was Anna not realizing that this stuff actually was happening at that house.
Yeah, that it was real.
And she didn't think it was real. So she was just like, I guess I'm going to stay here, because she was scared to probably just leave in general. It's like, where am I going to go?
Yeah. Where are they going to go? Also, like, somebody's going to eventually find these people and, like, figure out who the murderers are. So, like, I think she just wanted to stay and cover it up because she was, like, hiding the bodies in that.
And then
like,
she becomes one
dealing
of the
with them.
bodies.
Yeah. Lucy ends
Poor
up dying about, I think, 30 minutes into the film. I kept having to check the time because it felt like it was dragging really, really bad.
I thought the movie was over when she was dead, and I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
man, the movie's already over." That flew by, and it was like 30 minutes. Like, okay.
So I'm just gonna say company because I don't know, they cult, whatever the fuck they are.
Rich pieces of shit.
Yeah, those guys. They
I was
end up
referring
catching
to them as Nazis, but
Nazis work too.
it's some Nazi shit that's happening in this movie.
I would say it's
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Nazi-like, but I wouldn't say that they were Nazis.
Probably not, but it's definitely that. If anybody knows who, what's his name, Mengele, he did some really fucked up experiments and, like, basically just had the green light from, like, Nazi military.
Do whatever he wants, yeah.
Yeah, it's along the lines of that in terms of, like,
fucked.
torture and shit, so...
Welcome
especially
to
if you were twins. Like, he took a lot of liking to twins.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
But anyways, we're not in history right now.
No.
Yeah, I like their movie posters of the people they killed on the walls.
Yeah, that wasn't horrifying at all.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't people they killed. That was, like,
historical.
Those were the historical martyrs that they knew of.
I think it's still a part of their, like, cult kind of thing. Like,
yeah,
I think those are experiments from the past.
It could have been.
So those just explaining, you see their eyes, they were still alive in this photo, and it's like
that was the part that didn't sit with me very well either. It was it's like, oh cool, we're actually showing real people now. I'm having so much fun watching this because, like, horror movies, I'm like, whatever, this stuff's not actually happening unless it's like based on a true story. But even then, it's like grain of salt. But when you start actually showing like real dying people and shit like that, like that's where it goes into almost like the true crime stuff, where that stuff freaks me out because it actually happened. And people I've met a lot of people who are like, I can do true crime, but I can't do horror. And I'm like, how?
Right, yeah.
Like, these people actually killed people. And then this is a big monster thing or whatever. Like,
yeah.
Well, big monster thing. I think you're watching something else, but.
That's one thing. So I started watching the movie before everybody else, and one thing I did send to the group chat was this based off a real film? Because in the beginning, if you've seen any other like based on true story horror films, started out the same exact way with the camera going into like buildings, explaining it and stuff like such. Even though it wasn't based on a true film, from what I've like at least seen, this shit goes on. Like, this is actual shit that happens, and people just don't realize it.
That's the human trafficking stuff, and just or war crimes and just all that stuff. Like it's a topic that is gonna go completely like, it is too big of a topic for something like us. This is like this is bigger than us kind of thing. So
yeah. We're nothing but a speck in this situation.
So what else happens in the movie, Dani?
I do have to say the SFX in this movie is really fucking good. Like, I'm very impressed with all the SFX in this.
Yeah, the special effects were interesting, to say the least, especially at the end. So Lucy goes and kills the people that captured her whole family. The
the lady or the mother of the family took a freaking shotgun to like the upper abdomen
Yeah.
and lives. Well, until she gets her head bashed in with a sledgehammer.
Yeah, more like smashed in, just pancaked. They really kept showing that part. That scene
Oh,
one,
yeah.
like I would say that almost like all of like the really gruesome scenes go on just a touch too long, but I get that that's the point of it.
Yeah.
Because it's not supposed to, I mean, it's not supposed to be like, glory kills. Yeah, like this is like a
Mhm.
slasher movie. It's like, no, you're supposed to not feel good at all.
Yeah, you're supposed to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
But
Anna showed a lot of the uncomfortable because
Mhm.
Anna grew up with Lucy in a child's home or children's home. Um,
Mhm.
and the doctors deemed Lucy traumatized and insane, and Lucy believed Anna was the only one that didn't believe that until Anna tried to help the lady before she gets her head bashed in after being shot. Tried to help her, thinking that Lucy is insane. Anna was very disgusted, like throwing up, seeing everything.
I mean, I don't blame her because that was
Yeah,
I
fucked.
don't blame her either.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's oh man, this movie's something. So the cult, I'm just gonna call them a cult. The cult
Yeah.
comes in and they take Anna and they're asking Anna questions and they're saying it's a shame Lucy got away like a long time ago. They realize like after a while that was the person that got out. Um and so then the like head of the cult explains how women transform and go on the brink for what they want for the martyrs the best, which hints that this lady is now going to, or Anna's now going to be
Martyred.
yeah,
Yeah, martyred.
uh,
Attempted martyred, basically.
and you get to go along for Anna's ride.
Yeah.
I don't want to
um
be on this ride anymore.
Mm-mm.
Get me off of this ride. It's too scary.
Mhm.
in the last step of making Anna a martyr, they do quote unquote become successful to what they're trying to achieve with Anna, and they're all very impressed and remarked, and they almost like, I wouldn't say worship Anna, but they really like admire
they
her
they
and
they
like
worship it. I mean,
Yeah.
worshiping like the martyr. So it's
Mhm.
yeah.
uh they skin Anna alive.
They
Um
do for sure.
They sure do.
the
She did keep her
SFX,
face though.
yeah, they kept her face. Yeah,
Kept her face.
she was pretty face.
Do you even recover from something like that? Like you're
No,
just
you don't. No,
No,
you do not.
no, you
No.
do not.
Mm-mm.
They can put fake skin on you, but you are gonna be in pain for the rest of your life.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um,
I don't want to look up if anyone's lived after being skinned, but I don't want to see
No.
that. I'm just
yeah. Um, when we mean skinned, we mean literally skinned.
Yeah,
Like
like
no
she was
skin.
filleted. Yeah.
the only thing that
Yeah.
wasn't there was, or still there, was her face.
What's her face? Yeah.
But the SFX on that looked absolutely impressive.
Yeah, they did a
Um,
really good job.
it really did make me feel uneasy, but they did a really good job on that SFX. Um, the guy, I do have to say, like you'd think in these kind of situations that with the amount of abuse going on, there was no rape or anything, especially with one of the
Mm.
main guys like being her like overseer, I guess, in her captivity.
Yeah.
Um and so I guess there's like that slight, very slight, they kind of also respect you. Uh,
I don't think it's
yeah.
a respect thing. I think it has more to do with like the weird experiment that's happening. That like
maybe make it an impurity.
Yeah, kind of thing. I don't know, like, because I know they specifically like specify when Lucy was found when she was younger that like she wasn't raped. She was
That's what I
only
was saying.
physically abused. So there's probably some kind of like weird religious bullshit about that, about,
This
not
was
raping her
definitely
kind of thing.
a religious experiment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Danny. That's what it was. You're right.
I do want to know what Anna says. So Anna ends up being successful. She sees the beyond death, and she explains it to the head cult lady. We don't hear what Anna says to the head cult lady. We watch the head cult lady cap herself.
That was the ending.
Yeah, that was the ending. Was that lady capping herself? I guess she heard what she wanted to hear about the afterlife and was just like, all right, let's go, boys.
Yeah, I guess so.
Everybody came to almost like a funeral, but to also celebrate Anna.
Which, I mean, people will celebrate at funerals too. Like, I mean,
yeah,
depends on the culture, but yeah, for the most part, it's them going like, we found like the one. This is our one. She told us everything here, and we haven't had something like this in a long ass time. And I'm like, oh my fucking god, this movie! What the hell is wrong with this movie?
And they're like basically keeping her alive in this state of having literally no skin, with exposed muscle, just so they can hear what she has to see. She's apparently been the only person who has actually been able to relay the information of what is seen beyond death, or
for like 2 hours. They specify for 2 hours, and now she won't speak anymore, probably because of the amount of shock she's in.
Yeah,
all that trauma.
Yeah, I'm like, how do y'all know that she's just not like hardcore disassociating right now? And
you
just
don't.
like, it's just fantasy fucking world going on up there. Like,
that's because the cult was just so stuck in their beliefs that they'll go with anything. And they just assume that they're enlightening people, but really it's these people who have lost all humanity in their mind, and they've lost it. And it's like, how can you even? They don't even know what in the world's going on anymore. Like, you can't. But they assume that like once you have all that stripped away from you, that you will be enlightened to finally see the end. And it's like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm like, I'm not a religious person like at all, but like, it's shit like this that I'll see where people are like, oh yeah, they have to do this so they can be enlightened. I'm like, no. No.
That's the scary thing, is that this in cult situations, like, and they're like are just regular religions that call for some like extreme things, but most of the time for like really fucked up shit to go on, it's in cults, and this is what you see. There is a I wish I remember the cult, but they will literally castrate the men once they turn 18, like complete, like balls gone.
You don't need those anymore.
Yeah.
Yay.
I will say that this is the first horror movie I have ever watched that I have legitimately cried during.
Really?
Really?
Yes. Like, so you kind of glossed over when Anna actually found the girl downstairs in the facility.
Oh, I didn't get to her yet because I
you skipped it over. Yeah.
Because I wanted to go back to her. Like, oh god,
like,
it's
that
fucked up.
Entire sequence of scenes of her like being found. She's got the shit on her head and we don't know why. So, like, she's just been blinded basically, and it looked like it's nailed into her like skull.
That one made me flinch. It was like,
yeah.
Yeah. like Anna's trying her hardest to save this poor woman, and like she is already past the point of psychosis, which I'm just gonna go with that as that, like, that's what all of these women are experiencing. Like, that's definitely what Anna or what Lucy was going through. She was experiencing psychosis, where she's, effectively hallucinating this, other person that she felt really bad that she didn't save. There's also a lot of self-harm in this movie, which is not super fun.
A lot is an understatement.
Yeah, a lot's of understatement there.
We got suicide by like razor blades. We got suicide by like chopping your neck. We got all kinds of fun goodies in there. Which the one where, oh my god, the scene where she is just cutting down her arm.
Ooh.
No, I don't want to see this.
Yeah. So there's a lot of really intense shit in this movie. So I can see why like some people really didn't like it. Will I ever watch this again? No.
This is kind of like in that Requiem for a Dream area where it's like, this is a good movie. I never want to see this ever again.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. When Anna's trying to save the other girl, and I was sitting there like weepy-eyed and like crying for that girl. I was like, you're trying so hard, but she's so far fucking gone.
So far gone.
When she finally gets that thing off of her head and it peels her skin out, I'm like, ah!
It is very rare for me to be grossed out by special effects, and I was like, whoa, no.
You wouldn't think about, you don't think about shit like that. You're like, would it really just, you're like, yeah, if it's like fused in your fucking forehead, I guess it would just like, it would just she looked like pizza.
I have a pretty strong stomach for things. Like, pretty strong stomach. And this movie really had me like,
It made me really question reality.
Yeah. That poor girl though, it sounds so fucked up for me to say I like a character design, but like I like the character design they were showing for that poor woman. I like the idea of having her blinded because the whole thing that they're trying to do is have these people see beyond death. So it does make me curious why they blinded her when that's their ultimate
deprivation thing.
Well, no, because she saw roaches on her skin, so she did start like seeing shit. But that's why she's like slicing her arm, because she's trying to get the roaches off.
And her chastity belt, she has a chastity belt.
Which, by the way, is, if you've ever read the book Go Ask Alice, that is something she experiences. Alice is a recovering drug addict, and somebody ends up lacing like candy that they give her as like a joke. And
how is that a joke?
As she ends up hallucinating bugs all over her skin. And I believe Go Ask Alice is someone's actual diary?
No. No.
I think it is.
I don't know. I don't know, but I'm in my head I'm going, I don't want no.
It's also a really hard book to read, but she hallucinates that she's covered in bugs and she locks herself in a closet and like is clawing her skin off. And
my brother had a I don't know if it was a friend or an acquaintance, but I just know my brother told me that it was acid that this kid took, and he usually has great trips, but this trip was bad, and he thought there was roaches under his skin, like almost like the mummy situation where you can see the beetles under your skin, and he started ripping at his skin and opening up his body to get the roaches out. And, like these are real things that happen.
Also, okay, so I just looked it up really quick. Go Ask Alice is fictional.
Good.
Okay, that's good.
Good.
Mine is,
but that's not. That's worse.
That's worse.
I can handle so much horror movies and so many horror games, but when it comes to real life things,
no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
The scariest stuff that I used to watch was with my mom when we would watch like America's Most Wanted. That shit is terrifying. You're like, and these people are still out on the loose.
What's going on with your camera, Justin?
Okay, I'm making sure. I thought I was seeing things. You know, after this week.
What? What's going on? Okay, you guys are. Sorry, I'm a little freaked out.
It's doing it again.
What is it?
Like, it's like having a really hard
Oh,
time
it's-
white balancing.
Yes. Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah, it's because it's fucking. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Give
possessed.
me another seizure.
Look, both of us. Look, like we're having. Yeah, like the fucking.
It's the window. Yeah, I noticed it in the window. I was like, why is your window going from purple to blue? What the fuck is happening there? Yeah. It's just trying to white balance, that's all. It's having a hard time with it.
It'll never white balance either.
No.
If I
Because
move.
it's like messing with your chair, too.
Yeah, I
Sorry to derail it, but I was like, hyper-focused on it.
Saturated, not saturated. Saturated, not saturated.
I think this week has been a time being. I spent the beginning of this week in the hospital.
Oh my god! Yeah, this is going insane. It's like a rave going on. Don't look at my screen, guys. Just act like I'm not here. Hear my voice, but don't look at me. Like we're all, you know, like maybe I can just point this away from the
window?
God, the windows everywhere.
Get our angle. The angle that we have.
There we go.
The,
No, because the window would still be in it.
yeah, the
right?
window would still be there. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Doc, what are you talking about? Is this better?
No.
No, the window's still there. Window.
The window!
Ah!
Hello.
Perfect.
Oh look, you have a hole in your ceiling.
The attic.
There we go.
So this movie's really fucked up.
Just don't even look at my screen right now while I'm doing this, but continue.
I don't think R even explains this movie. I think this is one of the few films that should probably have the higher rating than an R, which is
Yeah, this needs some like
believe an X?
NC-17 shit. I don't even know. Like,
I'm pretty sure X is above R. And
I don't know.
it's,
There is an unrated version of this movie. We didn't even. We watched the rated one. I don't want to watch the unrated one.
Yeah, I don't know if I could.
I want to know what makes it unrated, because this was
same.
pretty like to the fucking wall. Like it had no chill.
Yeah.
Like once this movie started going, it didn't
Just casually
stop.
hugging myself.
Yeah, this it reminded me too of another movie that I watched growing up called Stir of Echoes. It's a Kevin Bacon movie. And that movie fucked me up for the longest time. I thought people were living in my walls. But there's a scene where they're like just beating the shit out of, not Kevin Bacon beating the shit out of somebody, but there's a scene where this chick is getting the shit beaten out of her and she gets stuffed into a wall, and that's what is possessing the house. And that's the same feeling I got when I watched this movie of like, this could be happening somewhere. I don't like this. I don't like this feeling at all. And the Stir of Echoes had that same feeling too of like, I thought it was real, but I was 8. Don't show 8-year-olds that movie. That's a terrible idea. My dad was an asshole. he quickly regretted it after we finished the it's really funny because the night started off, we watched a movie called Bowfinger. It's a comedy with Steve Martin and Eddie Murphy in it, and we didn't want to watch it anymore because they were cursing too much. What a big fucking mistake that was.
Oh,
I've never seen. By the way, I've never seen the rest of Bowfinger.
If it makes you,
I've seen Stir of Echoes twice.
When I was maybe 6, 7, me and my dad would watch movies all the time, and my dad, I believe it was The Shining. Maybe it was a Stephen King's movie. I know it was a Stephen King's movie where a kid was in a bathtub and his mother drew this scene lives in my brain. It will never go away of and the faucet of the bath is like starts filling up, and the kid is in there, and then the faucet started just blood coming out instead of water. The kid ends up dying, but like I, I was
Not The Shining,
petrified.
then.
It
Yeah, I was
wasn't.
about to
Maybe
say
it
this.
wasn't The Shining. I know. I'm pretty
I
sure.
think
it was
I
Stephen
know what
King's.
movie you're talking about. I
Is
mean,
it
that's
the-
a pretty common trope, is to like have running water and then it either turns black or into blood or something like that.
Yeah.
Was it the Dead Zone? Maybe.
No. I for a while
Put
I
it in
thought
the
was,
comments, guys. Who knows?
for a while I thought it was the original It, but I don't think that has a scene in it like that.
No.
No, not quite.
But I don't know. It lives in my head. Don't know where it's from. I could tell you the whole scene of her walking down the staircase that's curved, and then she hears her son scream, and she runs back up the staircase, and then he's not in the bathtub, and it's just full of blood.
Hell yeah.
Maybe Maybe it
Cass,
was,
what traumatizing movie do you have?
Rose Mansion.
No,
Maybe it was that.
Rose Red.
Oh,
Rose Red.
I've seen that movie too. That movie fucked me up too. Oh my god.
No, Justin, me and you have a shared movie that fucked us
We have
up.
shared trauma.
Oh no.
And I can't remember what the name of the movie is, but me and you were gonna watch it again, and it's the one. It has to do with aliens, and the guy
Fire,
is like,
Fire from the Sky, or Fire in the
Yes.
Sky. That's what it is. Yes, that also
Yes.
fucked me up too. Yes,
yes, because it's the like suffocation scene that
Yes!
he's got spit over his face.
Cass,
and I'm
we're
like,
still gonna watch that movie. I don't know what you're talking about.
I hate that. I hate it. I hate it.
We're gonna
You know
watch that
what-
one with Abby someday. You know, that'll
Yeah.
be fun.
Ooh, we can watch it one. You know.
Yeah.
The other one. So like, those scenes are what I associate with my anxiety, and the scene that 100% like when somebody's like, "What is your anxiety?" You know, feel like. I think it's in the movie Sphere when they have the liquid oxygen, whatever, and they're like showing how it works on the mouse, and the mouse is in the liquid oxygen, and he's like gasping for air, and he's like panicking and freaking out because he doesn't realize he can, it's breathable liquid basically, which by the way doesn't fucking make any sense because you would drown still. But whatever.
I haven't seen that movie.
So like it's fine. But like that scene, that is what I immediately associate with like my anxiety. And so like most horror movies, if there's like weird suffocation scenes in them, I'm not a fan.
Martyrs felt like
Turns
it was
out-
suffocating me.
Yeah.
The whole
Yeah.
movie.
A little bit.
And that's not even like sarcasm like the previous like terrible movies of where like, oh, I feel like this movie was fucking suffocating because it was terrible to watch. This was like terrible to watch. Like it wasn't
It was
a
a lot.
terrible movie, but it was intense and
lot.
it was one thing after another.
It's probably going to be the most violent movie we'll probably ever watch that is like not over the top stupid violent, it's not like an
Yeah.
Evil Dead situation. It's
Yeah,
like
can't be violent.
yeah, this is just
Yeah.
realistic violence.
One thing, I know I was explaining it to my mom when I was waiting for you guys and I needed to speak to somebody.
Right? Yeah. This is our group therapy session right now.
Yeah, this isn't our typical episode. This is actually our group therapy.
Yeah.
Welcome
I'm-
to
you know,
Apartment
I'm-
Theater.
I am going to name this episode group therapy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Martyr
but-
therapy.
When it comes to foreign films, you'll see this stuff a lot more with foreign films because they don't have a chill level. Like most foreign movies, like just will fucking balls to the walls it like this shit and release it. America has released some fucked up films, definitely, but
Mhm.
it's nothing compared to what you'd find in foreign films because some foreign films, it's actually real.
Yeah.
Unless it's that movie about the chick fucking a car. That was also a French horror movie. I recommend that one. I can't pronounce it to save my life, but you'll know. You'll know when you find
You'll
it.
know. Just Google French horror movie with chick fucking.
It's the same person that directed Raw. I recommend that one too. It's like Titana. It's T-I. It's Titan with the letter E at the end. So however you say that, that's what I recommend. But anyway, Martyrs. We're kind of... I don't know what else to say about this movie. Is there anything else to say? I think we covered it. Movie's fucked.
The movie's
fucked.
real fucked up.
Like, yeah, if you're gonna watch it, be very fucking prepared.
If you have any trauma, like any of us, because what I don't think helped is that the three of us have trauma.
I didn't have that kind of trauma. My God.
And
my life was perfect compared to this.
Right?
Yeah, they really made me reconsider just
a
lot of stuff.
Maybe look outside the window and go, maybe the world's not too bad. Like maybe my life's all right now. Things are okay. I look at myself in the mirror and go, maybe I do look okay today. Maybe the world's all right now. I'll just maybe I should eat that orange chicken in my fridge. Who knows?
Maybe you should.
I'm not going to.
That's fine. Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything on this. Oh God, this I want to touch that we haven't touched.
Go ahead.
You want to touch what we haven't touched?
I want to touch
it, babe.
Oh.
No, there's a lot of stuff that made like cringe, especially like. Oh, God, the slitting of the wrists really fucked me over. But
the knife one too, where she's just digging knife into her skin and stop. I wanted to just turn off the TV, just be like, I'm done. That was the end of the movie.
There was a lot of stuff that was really annoying me. I just wish they would have left for one. Secondly, I don't know how, I have to give Anna props to not telling these people to go fuck themselves. Because if it was me, at that point, if I was her, I would just assume that I'm going to die no matter what. So I would be cursing these people out, telling them to go fuck themselves.
You know what was awful?
I will literally hex them. Let's fucking go.
So she's chained to a wall. She has really long chains. And I'm waiting for the moment when she goes full fucking Princess Leia and just wraps one of those fucking chains around one of those guys' necks and just chokes them out.
She was too weak to do it.
I that's what I thought.
And the chains were too heavy too.
They were heavy.
Yeah. But I'm come on, summon your awesome woman strength, do it. But yeah,
this is not an action movie.
This is not an action movie. I was waiting for a moment like that which is kind of
nothing happens.
Would have been a huge fuck you to them. Again that she takes them out and survives to be fucked up for the rest of her life, but. Nothing good happened.
If you don't think it can
you lose in this movie.
You lose. Yeah, you lose watching the movie, and you lose because, you think something good could happen, but no, of course not.
It doesn't.
It never happens, and it never will.
I think the scene that also just really, there was a lot of scenes I couldn't, but, her, when they have her, hooked up on her, and she's on her knees hooked up after they just filleted her. Oh.
Yucky.
I just...
Ew. Yeah, the whole movie was just... Yeah, I just wanted to take another shower after watching the movie. It was
honestly... it's good. It's a good film. It's very fucking intense.
It's an important movie to watch, I would say. It's a movie that if you're into film and you can stomach it, it's definitely worth the watch. But if you can't handle it, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
We could barely stomach it, and we've watched some pretty gross shit.
Yeah.
I watched a movie where someone fucked a car. I mean, sky's the limit.
And it wasn't a porn.
It wasn't a porn, I think.
I wouldn't say helps, actually. I think makes it worse is this shit goes on. This shit is real. I like history. I'll learn about history. I like true crime. I love crime shit. I'll listen to that stuff repeatedly, and I will see and hear and really fucked stories. And the sad thing is from what I see from like true like crime stories like from around the world, this is not a far off thing
Great.
at all. This
Yay.
there's some interesting stuff. You'll probably see this with either cult stuff or cannibal. The cannibal stuff I actually find super interesting because one of my favorite
Because Dani is a cannibal.
yeah. One of
That
my
explains a lot.
favorite stories, he's from Russia, I believe. I can't think of the guy's actual name, but he went onto Reddit, I believe, to find somebody who was willing to be eaten.
It was on Craigslist, yeah.
Craigslist, that's what it
Yeah.
was. He refused to eat anybody unless they were allowed to be eaten. And if they didn't want to be eaten at the end of like the night, like when he came over to eat, he was like, all right, see ya.
You know, speaking of Reddit, though, I read there was one where this guy had to get his foot amputated, and he got to keep the foot for one. And he decided, he was like, you know, if there was an ethical way for me to eat a person, would I do it? So Cass, you were actually there when I read it because I remember telling you about it. We were looking at apartments, and yeah, he decided to grind it up and eat it on a taco, and he gave it a 6 out of 10. It was disgusting. I was about to throw up reading it, but I kept my composure.
There was this truck driver who his wife left him and took the kid, and he wanted to see his kid, and he couldn't find her. And then like the local druggies, like homeless people, he heard that she was hanging around them, so he went over to find her. And these two guys were like, yeah, no, we never seen her. So he got mad and killed them. And then
as you do.
Yeah. 0 to 100 real quick. And then a sex worker came down and he wasn't sure if she saw them. So he killed her too. And then there was a guy fishing down the way, and he thought like maybe that like he might have seen it too. So he went and killed him too. Yeah, so he went and killed him too. He was very proud of himself that he did 5 murders in 7 hours.
That's a lot of murders.
Yeah. And so he then decided that he wanted to make some extra money. And he kept bringing over sex workers and killing them and chopping them up. And his extra money, he opened up a pork stand on the side of the road that, like, you know, like how people can...
I don't like where this is going.
Where you can drive up in like one of those travel restaurant things or whatever. And he wanted so there was pork in his sandwiches, pulled pork in their sandwiches. There was, but he wanted to add something extra.
No, I don't want to add anything. Pork is enough.
To
chicken, maybe
up the flavor. And so the women that he already chopped up, he chopped it up a little bit more and threw them into his pork sandwiches. He never received a bad review on his sandwiches. And essentially all the people that ate there became living...
the living dead.
Yeah, the living dead. Became living hiding places for the bodies. But yeah, he fed people to...
That's a good band name, by the way. Living hiding places of dead bodies. That's a pretty fucking sick-ass band name.
Yeah.
So that's one true story. It's not the first of where a cannibal fed people to the public without them knowing. But that was just... I just heard that story the other day, so I was like, oh shit. The guy looked like he'd be like he just gave the
Sketch as fuck.
yeah, he had that
Yeah.
look. The look.
Sketch as fuck.
Yeah, I'll show you guys like when we're done with the episode. Like you if you saw him, you're like, yeah, that the shoe fits there.
You know what else fits? Us ending the episode.
I was thinking that too. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
is it time to be done now? Like,
So if you
yeah,
enjoyed
probably.
this episode, fantastic. I'm so glad you made it to the end here. Feel free to check out some of our episodes. They're on Spotify, Google Podcast, on everything except for YouTube because Dani hasn't set that up yet. But we're working on it. She said she's working on it. She also said that last episode and the episode before that. You can actually keep a live tally on how many times she said she was going to start it up.
I have no excuse.
I think this is the 10th time, but I could also be doing something, but I'm not. I could help, but I won't. But
if you want lighter episodes that aren't intense and movies that won't probably traumatize you, go check out. We have 24 other episodes.
Yes. Some of them are
we're
lost.
On literally. Okay,
But
only one's lost, and
it's not really worth.
Slenderman,
Yeah,
so it's not worth it.
It's not even worth noting. That movie sucked. That's the episode. But yeah, if you enjoyed the episode, feel free to do the like, the comment, and the subscribing. Mainly subscribing and downloading. That's the only things that we can really see, and I honestly think that downloading is the only thing we'll see. So download the episode. Besides, if you download the episode, you don't have to worry about your data or anything because you can just download it over Wi-Fi and you can listen to wherever you want to. You could listen to it in a cave, in a torture chamber, anywhere. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can listen to it there because you don't have to worry about data. But also, it helps us. So we highly recommend downloading so we can see. We're almost at 200 downloads, which I know doesn't sound a lot, but if you ever try to start your own podcast, you'd understand that people don't just come over and download your stuff. And seeing that it's almost 200 means it's not just us. So that means a lot. So whoever is out there downloading the episodes, we greatly appreciate it. Unless it's an error and we are actually the only ones downloading it. We're the only ones entertaining ourselves. Cool. That's great. Hi, me.
I mean, that's why we did it to begin with, right? Was to entertain ourselves. So.
Yes. So
and hopefully people would find us enjoyable. So.
Yeah. So
that's why we're here.
If you like it, cool, download it and tell your friends about it too. If you have friends that are interested in horror movies, by all means, well, the more the merrier. And you guys can talk about the movies. Maybe you can watch the movies and then talk amongst yourselves. Start your own podcast. And then it's like a sequel cast thing. It's a weird, everything connects and it just gets really out of hand. And then you start questioning your identity and you're wondering, are you really you or are you really them? But anyway, besides that existential crisis, fuck you. Get out. You didn't know where I was going with that.
No, I started zoning out. Sorry.